All right, we made it back in one piece. It's a windy day, my apologies. Today's sound quality brought to you by the wind. Nobody invited it and it doesn't care what you're doing today. All right, back to doing video stuff. So, little work off camera using the overpriced floor jack over here to switch some tires around, at least get matching rim sets on both these guys, and start doing something about these tires. Really need to take the old oscillating tool and carve some tread into these guys. They're pretty bad. I'll show you the other one. Not much going on here. Wearing on the inside. I think we can do a little bit better than that. But I'm also think we're going to go with the ropes. See how long they last. Probably not long. But it'll be neat for a second, right? And then underneath the rope will be different tread. It's all good. Just a quick reminder on that last video, this thing did all that in its bone stock condition. I didn't even weld the rear end up on that. That's a factory limited slip going to work. Street tires, stock size, wore out. Two were wore out. That was the two I just showed you. We're on the back of this thing. 5 or 6 cylinders pumping. Hey, it was a good time. All those handicaps I mentioned, there's one more here. See, this exhaust pipe here, just this tailpipe was hanging down. You can see she was just tilling dirt. I didn't think it was that bad until I edited the video and watched that, but holy. Fixed. Got the old finger trimmer out there, took care of her. And other Clyde Dog 72 news, I went ahead and bought the bullet, bit the bullet. I bought it too. And bought a mass airflow sensor for the old Mercury here, so that way it'll even out some of that running problem in the woods there in the mid RPM ranges. Hopefully, we'll see. Maybe it's the wrong part altogether, I don't know. But I also put a much bigger bullet back here. Went ahead and bought a drive shaft for that Honda. Now, all together, mass airflow sensor, the shipping, the tax, the drive shaft, $300 I spent. Gotta ask yourself though, did I have $300 worth of fun? Yes. Yes, I did. And I'll have another $300 worth of fun with these parts too, right? That's how you gotta keep justifying these things. Yeah. Four-wheeling is not cheap, even in its cheapest forms. It's still super expensive. I haven't even complained about the gas I put in these things. Also got the van fired up and moved around, and yeah, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with that. It's not meant for the road anymore. Borrowed the headlights out of it from my Subaru. They fit. Zip ties fit. So, I don't know. What do you do with a van? I got a couple ideas up my sleeve. But no mind to that van. My goal this week, if all the parts come in on time, I can shake out a couple minutes. If I can shake out a couple minutes, I think I'll be able to get the Explorer, the Mercury, and the Honda in the next Sunday video. Oh, that's the goal, man. That's the goal. We'll see what happens. But if you set goals higher than you can achieve, then you're always, I don't know, I'm not a philosopher. Good luck with all that. So here's my plans for the afternoon. We're gonna start here. I wash these tires off, charging all my DeWalt batteries, take my little oscillating tool, maybe even spend an hour a piece on these. How much is your time worth? Mine's not that much, but I should have at least better tires in the end. We'll see. Maybe I'll take too much off and it'll just, you know, decleat the tread right off into the woods. That's fine too. That'd be funny to watch, right? Here's a better look at these tires. Not all the mud on them. They got a little bit of tread left, but you can see they were wearing funny. They got broken steel belts. At least one of them does of the 4. Probably more than one at this point. But, you know, no mind. No mind for the woods. Be good enough. Good, solid before shot. I guess this is the after shot. It's not perfect, but it's better than it was. It'll at least throw more mud when it gets stuck. Make more of a mess at least. See, it got down to the shiny bits here in some places. That's the good part of the tire. But yeah. Alright, homemade mud tires. think I'm gonna skip the ropes. Just slap these on and go. It's a different day. Let's get into it. Today, we're gonna improve the Explorer. I know what you're thinking. How can you improve perfection? Well, I'm gonna show you. What we're gonna do today is try to get a little bit more ground clearance out of this front end. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the Generation 2 front ends and the Explorers, they are torsion bars. So we're going to crank the torsion bolt, which is actually just an adjustment in the front end, but it'll give us a little bit more ground clearance. Let's get a baseline here. Okay. Tell you what, I'm going to go from the center line of the wheel because that's easier to measure to the bottom of the fender. Looks like we're right at 17 inches. Then over here on the on the driver's side, this is the driver's side. That was the passenger side. We're at 17 and a half over here. Got a little bit of lean on this hill, so that might account for it. So we're under the Explorer here, and this is our torsion bar. Our adjustment's going to be under here. Now what you want to go ahead and do is get everything good and caked up with mud first, and start fighting through all these problems. It's the best way to do it, really. Now, it's been a while, but I'm pretty sure that's our bolt we're looking for right there. I believe it's a 13 millimeter. We'll find out. Okay. Now, the proper, safe way to do this. Actually, no, none of this is proper. But the safe way to do this is to get an assortment of jack stands and lift up the whole vehicle. Put the jack stands on the frame, not the suspension, because you need to droop the suspension for this. And then crank your torsion bar bolt in. But I think I'm just going to lean on this cross member a bit. And that should bring some pressure off the torsion key, enough for us to crank the bolt without actually getting this thing too crazy high off the ground. Alright, so we still got pressure on the pads there, so should be safe. Got the suspension unloaded. We should be good to crank those bolts in. Oh, and by the way, at the end of that last video, I had a heck of a time getting out of the woods, climbing that hill. I climb all the time, no problem. I was pushing up giant mounds of dirt, and in the end I had to get out and kick over the giant mound of dirt and just went right up the hill, no problem. But you can see where I've pushed up so much junk. Right here, my double transmission line patch, but I had a dirt just plowed up here, so that's what led me to say, let's try to get a little bit more out of this front end, be less of a bulldozer. This is where it was parked. This one fell off of there. I was just sitting. All right, we can see the suspension's good and unloaded. That tire's aired down, so it bulges when it's got pressure on it, so we barely got any pressure on that. Should be plenty enough to crank these torsion bars. If you don't take the suspension, unload the suspension, you'll just break that bolt, or you might break it anyways. That's a possibility. I could just break that bolt. So since it's, you know, 30 years old and covered in rust and mud. Well, tight. Here goes nothing. Okay. Well, that moved a bunch. Passenger side. Let's go do the driver's side. Side. Mud packed out of there. Get it up. All the way. Why not? She's not seeing the road again. Moment of truth. We got it all cranked up. We're going to drop the suspension and see how many inches we gained. You know what? That looks like quite a bit. So we were at 17 on this one. Now we're just under 20. Pretty good. Let's go check the other side. We're at 17 and a half over here, and we're just over 20. Not bad. So a good 3 inches there. So now it's ready for another round with a lift. And it's not really a lift. It's really a stock adjustment. So I'm still going to call this bone stock bumper to bumper. I've only taken parts off. Hey, do you ever take the bolt out of your jack handle so you can use your leftover piece for leverage tool when you're trying to get a rusty bolt out and then lose the damn bolt? Yeah, me too. I don't have any advice. It just happens to me all the time. There we go. That's fixed. Definitely one more thing I should tidy up on this old girl. I fixed that fuel line in the fuel filter, and I just rested right on top of the old parking brake cable. And that's where it's at. I drove it out of the woods that way. So I need to at least get under there and get a zip tie in there, you know. But while I'm under there, I should see what's catching dirt, see what our lowest point is, see if we can do anything about it. I'm in me mum's car. Room. Out me car. Aw. You know, another way I like to fix things is to go ahead and diagnose the problem, order the part, and then have it fix itself. This is the best that thing's run since it's been here. I don't know, usually it runs very poorly, but now it runs just fine. Part should be here in a couple of days, so I guess I'll have that laying around for where it breaks again. Got her up on the lift. At least mostly. It's not going anywhere, don't worry guys. Now I was pretty excited on that last video about this thing where I put it all together. And just to get a few things straight. This is power steering line. And this is a heater core hose clamp. The heater core hose clamp, this shouldn't work. I don't know why that's holding as good as it is. It's messed up and it's not leaking somehow. That's starting to chafe from, you know, doing cool stuff. But yeah, the line should be just fine though. Got that dialed back into factory specs, so this is the kind of guy I am. I trim my zip ties because I'm classy. And I'm also the type of guy who owns, I don't know, probably 7 pair of side cuts. Can't find any of them. Somehow can't lose these old ragged 10 snips that I don't know how to use properly anyways. I've never cut 10. And here comes the other dilemma. To cut or not to cut? It's a muffler. It leaks. It keeps it a little bit more quiet. I might keep it. It doesn't look like it's rubbing too much. I mean, it's rubbing a little. But it's not really dragging the ground that much. In fact, this thing seems to be pretty uniform low to the ground. Everything kind of drags at the same time. But, good enough. Well, did start running bad before I got to put it away, so probably are going to need that mass airflow sensor anyways. But over here we got the Honda ready for the drive shaft. It's currently Monday. It's not supposed to be here till Thursday, so that'll just have to sit there looking sketchy for a couple more days, or maybe it'll come early, right? Gotta be optimistic. But that's about all I got for now. Hopefully the next shot is me putting in a drive shaft and a mass airflow sensor. We can only hope. Okay, it's Thursday. It's here. Sun's going down. It's getting a little late. Ground's wet. I gotta get to work. But if you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff for YouTube. Algorithm. It helps. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.